Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. A body found in the Spokane River nearly 40 years ago finally has a name, and police could be one step closer to finding a suspect. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is digging into the cold case. Kyle?
Well, the details of this case are disturbing. This woman's body was found in different parts of the city more than a decade apart. DNA technology is once again providing a major break in yet another cold case.
It was a gruesome discovery. In June 1984, fishermen on the Spokane River found a woman's nude body. It was missing hands, feet, and a head. The Spokane Police Department says no women matching the medical examiner's description were reported missing at the time. The body couldn't be identified. Then nearly 14 years later, a woman walking her dog near 7th and Sherman found a human skull. It belonged to the body found more than a decade earlier, but DNA could not be matched to any offenders, crime scenes, or missing persons in the combined DNA index system known as CODIS. Even with forensic drawings and a facial reconstruction of the skull, the victim's identity remained unknown until this year. Spokane detectives sent DNA samples to Othram, a company that specializes in working with degraded samples. It's the same company that helped crack the 1959 Candy Rogers murder case last year. Using genetic genealogy, Othram provided SPD with a list of potential family members, one of them still living in Spokane. This February, 38 years later, the woman was finally identified as Ruth Bell Waymeyer. Born in 1960, Ruth attended Rogers High School. This photo from her sophomore year. Police learned that Ruth moved to Spokane with her mom and sister after her parents divorced. Shortly after, her mom died. Her sister moved away. The two didn't stay in touch. Ruth was married twice but never reported missing, and authorities still don't know who killed her. Police say her second husband, Trampus Vaughn, served time in prison before coming to the Pacific Northwest and marrying Ruth in Wenatchee. He died in California 6 years ago. Police have not ruled him out as a suspect, and no other suspects have been identified, including Ruth's first husband, who lives in Spokane and is cooperating with the investigation. Ruth was just 24 at the time of her death. An autopsy revealed she likely gave birth a year or two before her murder.
SPD and investigators with the medical examiner's office are hoping someone who knew Ruth, her husband's, or perhaps her child will contact police through crime checks so there can be justice. Ruth would have turned 63 next month. Mark.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. New details in a West Spokane shooting that killed one person yesterday. Spokane police now say they're no longer searching for a suspect, but also have not made any arrests. A search warrant we obtained shows the 39-year-old victim, his girlfriend, and another man were inside the apartment at the time of the shooting. That other man was later seen running out of the door. Officers found the victim on a bathroom floor with a gunshot wound to the chest. He died at the scene. Yesterday, Spokane police used canines and a helicopter to search for the shooter. But again, police today said they are no longer searching for anyone. This is a developing story. We will continue to bring you the latest as soon as we learn it. In national news tonight, Pope Francis is reportedly in the hospital. This after he was seen meeting people just this morning in St. Peter's Square. Officials with the Pope say he'd been complaining of breathing difficulties over the past few days. He's now being treated for a respiratory infection. Despite the health issues, the Pope has a packed schedule this week with Holy Week coming up. More than 30 people in Hawaii have been referred to U.S. law enforcement for harassment of a pod of wild dolphins in waters off the Big Island. It's against federal law to swim within 50 yards of spinner dolphins in Hawaii. The law states it disrupts the nocturnal animals' rest that they need to forage for food at night. According to local law enforcement, the swimmers seemed aggressive and were corralling and harassing the pod. Well, a wildfire is raging through a national park in Thailand tonight. It can be seen from miles away, burning on a steep mountainside. This, of course, not the correct video. The fire is about 2 hours outside of Bangkok. Here we go. Authorities have not identified a cause at this hour, but they say it could have been sparked by thunder and strong winds that hit that area on Tuesday. Fortunately, not many people live near the park, but officials say it is full of wildlife which will be impacted by the flames. Well, if you noticed, the sky was a bit hazy toward the end of the day today. It was coming from a fire between homes in Micah. Spokane County Fire District 8 tweeted out some photos from the scene. It burned a fair amount of brush and trees, but no property was lost. We have just learned from the National Weather Service it was actually a prescribed burn. On that note, let's talk weather with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legout. Jeremy, another pretty nice day across the inland Northwest, and it looks like you're saying enjoy the nice weather as long as it's sticking around.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where Well, there is going to be a little more smoke as we head into this prescribed burn season, but for now, things are looking pretty good, especially in terms of the forecast. We sit at 41 degrees here in Spokane, and across much of the region, that air quality stays good. And it's likely going to stay good the next couple of days. So if you do smell smoke, it is pretty isolated, pretty local, and likely going to move out rather quickly. Temperatures in the low 40s, even in places we climbed into the mid and upper 50s, even 60 in Omak, now in the low 40s. And it's likely where we have some of that cloud cover, what winds up happening is our temperatures stay a little more mild. Notice all those showers down across the Palouse starting to fall apart. Those were never really heavy, but just kind of set up right there along a little convergence zone and doing their thing. Those eventually come to an end tomorrow. We should see a little more activity down across the Palouse, but by tomorrow evening, it's kind of scattered showers popping up around the region. And eventually, well, Friday, we catch a break to start the day and then see more showers move in Friday night. And then Saturday winds up breezy, cooler, and well, a lot more rain takes over before temperatures take a dive early next week.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Well, KREM 2 is taking a deeper look at new court documents in the Coburger case in our effort to bring you more to every story. Those filings show possible Brady Giglio material being shared with the defense that has to do with an internal affairs investigation of an officer on the case. The details are sealed, so we don't know who the officer is or what agency they are with, but we do know that officer is part of a confidential internal affairs investigation, and the prosecution is sharing that information with the judge and the defense. Prosecutors are required by law to turn over evidence that may exonerate a defendant, or it may be as simple as a witness who may not be credible. Defense attorney John Henry Brown says it could be a huge win for the defense, or it could be meaningless.
It could be something as small as a DUI 25 years ago. Or it could be something more serious. Obviously, the most serious thing for the prosecution, the state, would be if the officer, detective, or whatever has some history of not telling the truth.
Brown says turning over Brady Giglio information is pretty standard for prosecutors. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The Grant County and Moses Lake Fire Departments battled a fire at a food processing plant overnight. Photos and videos from witnesses show just how massive that fire was at Basic American Foods. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, the third floor of the building sustained most of the damage. We are working to confirm if there were any injuries. The cause of the fire is unknown tonight. A man with several prior felony convictions will spend nearly 17 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to first-degree kidnapping with sexual motivations. Spokane police arrested Daniel McGee in June of last year after a sexual assault near the Shadle Park neighborhood. According to court documents, McGee pointed a small handgun at the victim, then took her to an alley and sexually assaulted her. The FBI is now offering a $10,000 reward as they continue to search for a missing at-risk man. 29-year-old Chance Carson was reported missing by his family late last week, but he has not been seen or heard from since February 19th. Anyone with information is asked to call their local FBI office. And a man's been arrested for allegedly setting fire to a home in Spokane Valley this morning. The fire was just off I-90 on 4th Avenue and Chronicle Street. Witnesses say that home is vacant, but they reported seeing a man leave the home and smoke come out of the house a short time later. The 31-year-old suspect's been charged with second-degree arson and residential burglary. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. Lori Vallow was back in court this morning ahead of her upcoming trial in Ada County. Her defense argued to exclude most family members from watching portions of her trial to prevent potential testimony changes. The defense also said because the judge dropped the death penalty in this case, they likely won't be calling many witnesses. However, Judge Boyce said that he will issue a final ruling at a later date. And Post Falls police urging people to shop with caution after a credit card skimmer was found at a local store. They're not telling us exactly which one. The skimmer was found installed on a credit card terminal at a local convenience store, according to police. Card skimmers can steal credit card data and PIN numbers when you use a card on it. And police say shoppers can protect themselves by using contactless payment options.